Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to a farm-inspired disaster detail. This 2002 Chevy 1500 was recently retired from farm duty, and I think it's pretty clear the owner had a little fun with it to celebrate, but that presents me with a huge challenge today, is getting all this mud off isn't going to be easy.
Now, as we look around at the truck, I'm honestly not sure if I should be excited by all this mud because I enjoy pressure washing, or if I should be dreading all the work ahead of me. I think it's clear that the owner had one objective with the truck, and that was to get every single inch of it covered. Even the roof is full of mud too, and as I know from personal experience, when you're out playing in the mud and have to go inside, well, it's pretty difficult to not track some in with you. So besides the years of dirt, straw, and other debris that's accumulated in here, there's also mud on the door to clean up as well. But just before I do, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and leave a like on this video if you're excited to see this farm truck look new again. Okay guys, well, as I get started on blasting all this mud off, you can see that there's a fair bit of straw mixed in with it, which of course makes sense if this truck was out having some fun in a muddy field, though the real surprise here is that the paint on this truck appears to be in really good shape for being a 22-year-old farm truck, which I think just goes to show you that just because a vehicle is used for work, it doesn't have to get destroyed in the process. Alright, well, I hope seeing that in real time gives you some perspective on how long this pre-wash rinse is going to take. Now, before I started, I had wondered if I should spray some water on the truck to sort of pre-soak the mud a little bit, because once it gets wet, it does come off a little bit easier, but it ended up not being quite as bad as I thought it was going to be, so I chose not to. I certainly could have though, as it's kind of right on that line of almost needing it, but seeing as how I enjoy pressure washing, I'm not complaining that I get to use it for a little longer today. Well, as I continue working on getting the mud off this truck, I'm sure there's a few of you out there who are doubting the legitimacy of the truck being this muddy, because if I've learned anything after doing this for 5 years, it's that there's always going to be people out there who think these videos are staged no matter what the vehicles look like. But anyways, on that note, I typically don't ask many questions of the owners, besides trying to get a little bit of background on the vehicle and context to how it got dirty. Really, it's not my place to care or to judge them for it. Basically, if someone comes to me with a really dirty vehicle like this one, there's a good chance I'll take on the challenge for you guys. And that's what you're seeing here. Now, if you've been watching this video and wondering to yourself, how the heck does he deal with all the mud that ends up on the floor when doing a muddy vehicle like this? Well, I actually designed the studio here with mud in mind. Not only is the floor nicely sloped from all sides to the middle, I've also got a massive 2-compartment drain pit that's able to hold piles of mud and lets it all settle in the first compartment so that it can be easily sucked out by a hydrovac truck in the span of about 10 minutes. If you guys want to see what the drain pit looks like, then check out the studio build series over on my other channel, the Detail Geek 2. Or if you'd want to see all the mud getting sucked out of the drain pit, then go ahead and let me know down in the comments. Okay, well, it's time to turn my attention to the huge pile of straw in the box of the truck, and even though the owner told me before the detail that he wasn't too worried about things back here and didn't care if I cleaned it up, I am going to go ahead and spend a few minutes back here getting out as much of it as I can, though in order to do a proper job, the topper would have had to come off so I could use the pressure washer. If I had tried to use it in here like this, I would have ended up completely soaked. Alright, well with the pre-wash rinse done now, I'll turn my attention to the wheels that were once covered in mud, and using some of my wheel and tire cleaner and a variety of brushes, I'll get them cleaned up, though you'll notice there's quite a bit of corrosion on them that I unfortunately won't be able to do anything with. Now as I quickly get these 22-year-old floor mats cleaned, I've done enough of these old Silverados to know that they should clean up pretty easy and look brand new when I'm done. Okay, well turning my attention inside the truck now, and I'll quickly get the few bits of garbage and any personal items removed and set aside. And unfortunately, when I went to unbolt the seats in here, I found the front two bolts were completely seized and wouldn't budge. It's pretty rare that something like that happens, but sometimes you just have to roll with it and carry on. Of course, there are methods a person can use to free up a seized bolt, but they do carry a risk of damage and a great investment of time considering it wasn't just one bolt. So while unfortunate, I can be thankful that with the design of the front seats, I've got really good access underneath, so I can still do a near perfect job today. Now as I work on vacuuming the carpet, you'll probably notice that it's fairly good quality carpet, which means I'm not struggling too hard to get all the debris sucked up. And while I do, I wanted to quickly remind you guys about my other channel, The Yard Geek, where I've been documenting the development of my acreage where the studio sits. Similar to the studio build series that I did over on the Detail Geek 2, I've been filming pretty much every part of the process and I'm sharing it all with you guys. So if you enjoy the videos here, then I can guarantee you'll enjoy the Yard Geek videos as well. There's a link in the description for you, or you can just search up The Yard Geek and you'll find me. Okay, getting to work on extracting the seats now, which undoubtedly have years of dirt and dust in them, and after having done several of these older GM trucks like this one, I'm pretty confident that I can get every inch of this interior looking new again because they used good quality materials back in the day that could take a beating and still clean up to look new, unlike a lot of vehicles made nowadays where it's a fight just to get it looking presentable. Okay, over in the driver's footwell here, this was probably the dirtiest area of carpet in the whole truck, which I guess isn't surprising, but as you guys know, I'm not the type of person to think good is good enough, so if I can still see dirty water coming through the extractor after making a few passes, then I'll go ahead and repeat the process as many times as I need to until I get it as perfect as possible, which is exactly what I had to do here. Here's all the dirty water sucked out of the Silverado today, which compared to some other dirty water pours is a little underwhelming, to be honest. Now as I start on this door, which was obviously touched by some very muddy hands, my steamer and all-purpose cleaner will make quick work of it, like they do with almost any mess inside a vehicle that I've ever come across. If you guys happen to have a dirty vehicle, or even dirty areas around your house, then I'd highly recommend picking up a steamer like the McCulloch MC1375 unit that I use. I've got a link to it down in the description for you guys, along with a link to my site, detailgeekautocare.com, where you can find the all-purpose cleaner, which really makes the difference as steam alone can only do so much. It's such a powerful combo that I actually use it to clean the grout inside my tile shower, and you've of course seen the disgusting messes it can tackle inside of vehicles, so definitely consider checking the pair out. Alright, with all the interior plastics cleaned up to look new again, I'll quickly get some UV protectant applied, which will leave everything with a nice, deep matte look when it dries. Okay guys, second last step now, and that's to clean the huge amount of glass on this truck with some of my best selling glass cleaner and waffle weave towel. If you guys have ever struggled with getting streak-free glass, then I have the answer for you here. It's such a good combo that I'm constantly having to supply all of my family and friends with glass cleaner and towels because they need one in their house, then in both their vehicles and so on. So feel free to give it a look over at detailgeekautocare.com, where you can even find it in a bundle for additional savings.
All right guys, well there you have it, 10 hours later, and who knew, there was actually a pretty good looking truck underneath all that mud. Now if you guys enjoyed this muddy transformation, make sure you smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. Do me a favor, go ahead and click on that video right there. I'm sure you guys will enjoy it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.